Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, meet Ankur Oberai, the entrepreneur, the storyteller, and the guy who knows his way around a mic. Now, imagine this or picture this. First runners up of the division level international speech contest and acing the table topics contest at the same level. He's not just a speaker, he's a heart and soul storyteller, and I can vouch for it. I attended few sessions of him, and that was the time I literally went to him and asked him if he could do a similar session for a deep dive series as well. So he's been a storyteller, he's been spinning yarns that grab your attention and refuses to let go. Toastmasters International has dubbed him a Triple Crown Award as a Triple Crown awardee. So you know this guy, whosoever knows him, and you would be knowing him, that he's a communication wizard. And he is not keeping the magic to himself. Ankur Oberai is all about passing on this wisdom from workshops on communication to public speaking and the art of storytelling. I happened to evaluate one of his speeches on creativity. That was a longer speech. It was a workshop in itself. And I really wish that we could have and hope that we could have that session as well in one of these series as well. He could probably design a program around that. And he's also on a mission to turn everybody into a smooth talker. So he's doing it and he's walking the path and then helping us become good communicators. But there's more. Ankur isn't just about words. As the co-founder of, he could correct if I'm pronouncing it right, as the co-founder of Obej Audio, he's bringing that entrepreneurial spirit to the world of home audio because why not, right? And here's a nugget of wisdom straight from Ankur. You can't lead. That's what he says, that you can't lead without a firm grasp on communication. So it's not just a saying for him, it's a way of life that echoes in every workshop he leads and every story he shares. So in case you're looking for a dose of inspiration and a good chat, Ankur's your guy today. Now, without further ado, let's pass the virtual stage and spotlight to the man himself, the entrepreneur, the storyteller, the wizard of words, Ankur Oberai. Get ready to be inspired and entertained as Ankur takes the mic and shares his insights. Over to you, Ankur. Let me spotlight you. We have two people in the waiting
Thank you
room
so
as well.
much for the kind words, Sachin. Huge words from you. I'm honored. And thank you, everyone, for the warm welcome. Before I begin, I want to share a story with you because that's what I always do. Eric and Sherry were in love, but there was a problem. Their colleges were in different cities. So Eric had to travel 10 hours on a highly uncomfortable train just to meet Sherry. The train used to be crowded and smelly. One day, Eric thought, I wish there were a device that I could click and see and talk to Sherry. Years later, Eric joined a company called WebEx, which was a video conferencing software company. Eric and a team of engineers at WebEx made such a good software that Cisco, the technology giant, acquired WebEx. Now in Cisco, Eric did not feel respected and honored. His ideas were dismissed again and again. So discouraged that he quit Cisco to work on his own. His wife Sherry completely supported him, even if it meant that Eric would stay away from the family and spend less time. But now, Eric was all set to disrupt the video conferencing industry by working on a new software that would completely change the way meetings were done online. He faced numerous struggles on the way, like the loss of his father, spending less and lesser time with family, and that anxiety of convincing investors to invest in his project. But ultimately, he created Zoom. This was the story of Eric Yuan, the co-founder of Zoom. My dear friends, I'm honored that you registered for this workshop. This shows that you are keen on improving your communication skills. Congratulations on taking this step. And I want all of us to applaud for each other for taking this step. Now, for the sake of Eric's love, Eric's dreams, and his sacrifices, let us keep our cameras on. Because that's what Eric designed it for. Now be prepared to enter into my brain. Yes, I am going to let you have a sneak peek inside my head. Because when I write speeches, I use 4 elements. I'm going to share with you what these elements are and how you can enhance your speeches using these 4 elements. Ladies and gentlemen, the 4 elements are fire, water, earth, and air. Now, this is going to be an interactive workshop. You might not be on cameras, but at least you can be on mics. So, would anyone like to volunteer who would like to repeat these 4 elements?
Yes, Ankur. So, Natika, this side, 4 elements of speech are fire, water, earth, and air.
Thank you, Nitika. That's right. So, what does fire remind you of? We are having a conversation here. It is not a conventional workshop that I'm going to give a lecture. So I want input from all of you. What does fire remind you? Yes, Atul.
Energy.
Energy. Anyone else?
Anger.
Naresh is saying aggression.
Anger.
Anger. Yes. More
It's
input, please.
energy and transformation. Because
Transformation.
it changes wherever it comes, it changes the looks.
Exactly. This is the word I was looking for. Thank you so much, Atul. Transformation. Fire brings transformation. You put potato in the fire, it gives you French fries. You put a brinjal in the fire, you get bangan ka bharta. So fire transforms. So any content talking about transformation or a change, howsoever small it might be, is fire. When I say content, I mean speeches, I mean your professional emails, I mean everything that comprises of words. That is what is meant by content. Let us not stay limited to Toastmaster speeches. So when a father is scolding his son to change his ways, that's fire. He's saying, son, you should start studying now. Your exams are on the head. When will you start studying? When will you get serious? That is fire. Now tell me, what does water remind you of?
Calmness.
Calmness.
Water means fluidity.
Good. Going with the flow.
Going with the flow. And
Free flow.
Sakshi, what was Sakshi saying?
I said water signifies fluidity.
Fluidity. Yes. Any more inputs?
Transparency.
Transparency. What else?
Coolness. Coolness.
Coolness. These were the words I was looking for. Coolness and calmness. anything that makes you feel good. Just feel good. Not a surge of emotion, just a feel good thing. That's water. For example, if someone is telling you that they had a great Diwali party last night, you'll feel good listening to them. Wow, nice. You played cards. Wow, you were dancing. That's nice. The person would just feel good. That is water for you. So, any content that simply makes you feel good, simply calms you, is water. Now, what does earth remind you of?
Foundation, roots,
Foundation, roots,
Substance.
substance, solid. Earth is solid. Earth is
Solid,
exactly something we walk on.
solid principles or
Solid
something.
principles. Hard. So anything,
Grounded.
anything which is hard facts. Anything which is telling you what is what. That is earth. Earth is solid. Earth is practical. We walk on it. Anyone here knows how to make tea?
Yes.
Sachin. Okay, Sachin. So can we hear from you? How do you make tea?
So, are you saying step by step?
Yeah, the 3-4 steps.
Yeah. So because I make it almost 3-4 times a day, I would quickly tell you. I mean, I put the container on the stove. I light the fire. I put the water first, and then the kind of tea I like, I add milk first, and then jaggery to it. That's what I like the tea of, and then some elaichi, and then the tea, of course. Bring it to a boil. That's the chai or tea I like.
Thank you so
And
much, Sachin.
yeah, that's it.
Then you pour it and serve it too.
Myself. Nobody else drinks tea in my house.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So did you notice that Sachin was telling us a step-by-step guide to making a tea, and it all comprises of hard facts. So in a way, all how-to speeches or how-to talks are earth talks, or anything that simply states facts. Like a car salesman, telling you, okay, sir, this car goes from 0 to 60 in just 6 seconds. This car has 150 horsepower. It has an NCAP rating of 5 stars. So he's telling you the facts. So this is the earth talk. Now, what is air? Can anyone tell me? What does air remind you of?
intuition,
Hidden power.
Hidden power, intuition,
Something that can't be seen but felt.
something that can't be seen but felt. Excellent, Davinder.
Feelings.
Feelings. Air comes and goes like feelings and emotions. You cannot see air, but you can feel it, just like feeling and emotions. You cannot grab air in your hands. Or can you? You cannot. You cannot grab air in your hands. So anything that talks about feelings and emotions is air. Some time ago, in a table topic session, someone got this topic on love. So this Toastmaster, she started giving a lecture on love. She was talking about, what love means to her and how it makes her feel and how it affects her life and so and so. That was all air. So, my dear friends, what happens when there is too much fire?
One can burn.
Exactly, you burn. If someone is continuously talking about transformation, you will get defensive because it burns. Imagine the father continuously scolding the son for hours. Will he actually listen to his father? Won't. Then tell me, how do you balance fire? Which element balances fire?
Air.
Air,
Air.
air,
Water.
even
Water.
exactly water, because air will actually enhance the fire. Water, the heat of the fire can be balanced by the calmness, the coolness of the water. Now the father scolding the son adds the element of water. He says, "My dear son, I really think you are a responsible person because of the way you took care of your mother when I was on a business trip. Why don't you show the same level of responsibility in your exams now? Instead of playing video games, focus on your exams. Show the same level of responsibility." Now tell me, the percentage of chance, the chance that the son will listen to the father, will it increase or not?
Yes.
In a way, don't you think CRC approach is balancing fire and water? Commendations being water. It makes the speaker feel good. Oh wow, my body language was good. Wow, my voice modulation was excellent. He'll feel good. That's the commendation. And the recommendation is the fire. Because there we are talking about the change or the improvement that we want. Now tell me what happens when there is too much of water.
It just flows, then it will
Flows.
not stay.
So what will happen, Sachin, if there's a lot of water at your home?
It would not be taken. Oh, okay. So at my home, it will be over flooded.
Flooded. You'll drown.
Yeah, we'll drown. Yes.
You'll drown. So when there's so much of water, when there's so much of feel-good talks, it drowns you in boredom. Do you know those people who continuously keep talking about what a great vacation they had, what a great party they had? If you know any such person, please raise your hands. Those who are not raising their hands, maybe you are that person. Now, how do you balance that amount of water, that amount of boredom with fire? You bring the element of change. Example, if I'm talking about a great vacation that I had when I went to Kolkata to meet a friend. Now, if I keep talking about, oh, I met a friend after such a long time, I had a great time, we went to this restaurant, we had Bengali food, it was such a great time, you'll get bored. Now, let me introduce the element of fire into it. So, guys, what happened? I went to Kolkata to meet a friend of mine. We were having a great time, and this friend tells me that, hey, Ankur, you have come to Kolkata after a long time, and it's Navratri going on. Let's go to Durga Puja. So I went to one of a pandals with him, and what did I notice? Everyone was eating non-veg. I was surprised because we North Indians, we do not eat non-veg in Navratri, and Bengalis were eating. I asked them why, and then they told me the real story behind this culture. My mind was open now. I realized that there are so many things in the world to see, so many cultures to explore. We all are Indians, but this is what diversity means. So, did you see how I introduced the element of transformation in that full of water speech? It changed my perspective slightly, even though slightly. But yes, there was a change. And suddenly, that boring water speech got an element of fire. Now, what if there is too much of earth? Too much of earth is heavy. I give you a lot of soil in your hands, it will get heavy for you. So if someone keeps stating a lot of facts, a lot of hard truths, it gets heavy on you, doesn't it?
Yes.
Anyone not from technical background and went to a showroom to buy a laptop? Narayan, can you share what happened when the salesman started pouring technical jargons on you?
It went over my head.
Exactly. It gets heavy. You just cannot get it. What's happening? Yes, Sunil, you want to share something?
Exactly the same experience. What the Toastmaster said. It goes just above your head.
Exactly. It gets so much of heavy on you. Yeah,
Right.
what are you saying? Like I cannot understand all this.
That's right.
The salesman will go, oh, this laptop is Core i7. It has this much of RAM. This has this much of ROM. It has IP6 rating. It has this. It has that. And you were like, okay, I'm not able to understand anything. This is too much of earth for me. How do you balance this heaviness of earth? Tell me, which element is light enough to balance this earth?
Here,
Air.
Air, exactly. You bring the element of emotions or feelings into that speech. How? Let's take the example of car salesman. The salesman is stating a fact. This car will go to 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. Because of that, you will feel confident while overtaking other vehicles. This car has 150 horsepower, so you will feel powerful while driving this car. This car has an NCAP rating of 5, so you will feel safe and secured with your family. Now this makes sense, doesn't it? Because the
Yes.
salesman balanced the heaviness of facts, the heaviness of earth, with the lightness of feelings and emotions. He related each fact with an emotion, and suddenly it made sense to you. Yes, Sunil.
I mean, it makes sense, but until he tells the actual price of vehicle.
Sorry, I couldn't get your question.
I mean, he says like this car has got so much of horsepower and it's got so much of all those technicalities. So until he reveals the price of the vehicle.
Price will be revealed later.
Yeah.
So what happens when there is too much of air, too much of talks of feelings and emotions? What do you feel when someone is all the time talking about feelings and emotions? That person becomes not so memorable. Have you met those people who, when they talk to you for hours, and all they're talking about is their feelings? Oh man, I felt so bad, or you know, so I felt so overwhelmed when this happened, that happened, and I was feeling this, I was feeling that, all the time talking about feelings. So, that table topic speech of love I'm talking about, I cannot remember it at all. This is what happens when we talk too much about feelings. We stop being memorable. And as speakers, as communicators, we want to be memorable. So that lightness and intangibility of air should be balanced with tangibility of
Earth.
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 Exactly.
Earth.
Exactly. Earth. So, how could that speaker giving a lecture on love could introduce earth? What if that speaker also gave us certain facts about how love should be expressed in a healthy way? Or if the audience was full of singles, how to find love? Anything factual could be talked about to make that speech more memorable. And that's how we balance air and earth. We'll take a small questionnaire round, just a small questionnaire round to make sure whether you understood everything or not. Are you ready for a quiz?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So I'll be asking questions now, and raise your hands before answering. I'll speak a sentence, and then you have to tell which element that sentence is. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, let's begin. The moment I entered the house, my mobile rang. Which element is this? Yes, Sakshi.
It's Earth.
It's
It's
Earth.
hard fact.
Exactly. It's a fact. The moment I entered the house, my mobile rang. Okay. Be prepared for the next one. The moment I entered the house, I was greeted by my dog.
Air.
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm greeted by my dog every day. It's not a new thing for me.
Water.
It's water.
It's water because it simply gives you a feel good factor.
Hmm.
And even if I'm telling you this, I was greeted by my dog. There's no surge of emotion. There's simply a feel good factor. Okay, dog, comes and wags his tail. Yeah, water. Feel good factor. There is no surge of emotion. Next one. The moment I entered the house, I saw my 10-month-old daughter taking her first steps.
Air.
Air.
It is air.
Air.
Exactly, because there will be a surge of emotion.
Hmm.
There will be pride. There will be this overwhelming joy and delight that I would see. Yes, exactly. This is air. Next one. Do you think you can ever be successful with this lazy attitude?
Fire.
Raise
Fire.
your hand and tell me, please.
We are raising hands. You are
Yeah.
not choosing.
Okay, Parul. So, Parul, why do you think it's fire?
Because the way you are telling in that tone, and because of that, I figured it out. It's fire.
Yes, because I was talking. Actually, why am I speaking that? Because I want some change in the listener,
Change. Yeah. Transformation.
transformation in the listener. Exactly. Keep that Kaju Katli back. You will spoil your health if you keep eating sweets.
Fire.
Exactly. This is fire. Now, a lot of people might be confused with earth here. It's a fact. If you eat a lot of Kaju Katlis, you will spoil your health. It's a fact. So it should be earth. But no, what is the intended effect that the speaker wants to give? The speaker wants his loved one not to eat so much of Kaju Katli. So it is ultimately fire because we want a change to happen. I intentionally took this Kaju Katli example because Diwali is coming up. The next one. My neighbors are jealous of me just because I have a bigger car. Yes, Sakshi.
It's air.
It's air. What about
Also
you?
air.
I
Also
think
What about you, Nitika? What do you think? It's
I
what?
think it's the mix of air and earth.
It's a mix of air and earth. Any more inputs? This one is confusing, let me tell you. So any inputs from anyone?
It's air, I guess.
Okay. Why is that so? I I think my neighbors are jealous of me just because I have a bigger car. So there's a fact also. I have a bigger car. I actually don't have a bigger car than my neighbors. It's just an example. So it's a fact that I have a bigger car, and there's a feeling associated.
Hmm.
My neighbors are jealous of me just because I have a bigger car. Now here is what intended effect matters. Yes, Davinder, any input?
Well, Ankur, this can give a feel-good factor as well, that I have a bigger car. It can be seen from that perspective as well.
Exactly. So the intended effect matters. What is the context? If it is the cars I'm talking about, only the cars I'm talking about, this could be earth, that I have a bigger car. But if I'm talking about overall feelings, if I'm giving a speech on spirituality, let's say, then it becomes air. because I'm talking about feelings. So intended effect is what is important here. It'll get more clear when I talk about the next one. I really miss my grandma. I really miss my grandma. Davinder?
Air, feeling.
It's a feeling. Nitika?
Yeah, air.
Air. Thank you for inviting me, ladies and gentlemen. What is this? Sakshi?
This is Earth.
Thank you for inviting me, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a fire.
It's not Earth.
Air.
It's a fire.
Air.
It could be water.
It could be water.
It could be anything. Let's,
Air,
think
feel
it-
good
I think-
factor.
Okay, now give me the reasons also. Thank you for inviting me, ladies and gentlemen.
So just like you said that
Because-
it depends upon the intent.
Intended
you-
effect is a transformation actually.
How come, Naresh?
It is going to help us. It is for our transformation.
I haven't started my speech yet. I simply came on the stage and I said, thank you for inviting me, ladies and gentlemen. I am a speaker. I just came on stage and I said, thank you for inviting me, ladies and gentlemen.
I
My
think,
name is-
Water effect. Feel good.
Yeah. You're happy
yeah,
to be here.
yeah, feel good, but it's not a surge of emotion. It's
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly, Sachin.
Hmm.
It's simply a feel good factor that I'm thanking the audience. It's not a surge of emotions. You will not simply feel, wow, the speaker has said thanks to me. No, but you will be comfortable. Okay, the speaker has said thanks to me. So it's water. Now let me take some questions before I get to next part of this workshop. Any questions? Yes, Narayan. Parul, questions?
Oh, just give me a sec.
To help you understand it better, do you know that air also has water? It's called humidity. It's called moisture. So in a way, all water can also be classified as air, because in air we talk about feelings and emotions, but a small part of is feel good. That is water. Slight effect of calmness. That's water. Because a lot of people get confused in air and water. I hope I'm making myself clear. Do we have questions?
Could you give example of air and water together?
Air and water together.
Yeah.
Any example of water is actually air also, because in water we feel good. So that is air also.
Yeah, I think the last example was just that.
Exactly. Thank you for inviting me, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Parul? Yes.
It was for earlier question.
Okay, Davinder.
Ankur, aren't these four factors not mutually exclusive but complementary to each other? Because
Yeah.
the moment perspective changes, the same thing becomes one, then another. And this is just the perspective. Like Sunil said, I think Sunil said that from our perspective, you are going to transform ourselves. From your perspective, it was feel good factor. And so you see, the moment the perspective changes one thing, so rather than classifying or going into that, all these things are complementary to each other rather than being mutually exclusive, till the point what I have got from this workshop.
Which is why speech writing is an art. There are no fixed scientific formula. When I'm writing a speech, I'm writing it from my perspective. I'll share my screen with you and things will become much more clear now. We will analyze a speech and we will dissect it into its elements. Is my screen visible?
Not yet. Yeah, it's now.
Visible.
Yes. Now, what can you see on the screen?
The same story
Eric,
which you shared with
Eric
us.
and Sherry's story.
The story that I shared in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So let's analyze this speech and let's dissect them into the elements. Eric and Sherry were in love.
Water.
Eric and Sherry were in love. I'm literally talking about feelings here. They were in
Air.
love. This is
It is
air.
air.
Yeah. But there was a problem. It's a feeling sort of thing. Okay. Yeah. Now coming to the hard facts. Their colleges were in different cities. So Eric had
Earth.
to travel 10 hours on a highly uncomfortable train to meet her. It's a hard fact. The train
Earth.
used to be crowded and smelly. So this one is Earth. That is why it's written in brown.
Hmm.
One day, Eric thought, imagine his frustration when he's traveling on the train and he's thinking, I wish there were a device I could just click to see and talk to Sherry. So, as a speaker, my intended effect here is
Air.
give you a
Fire.
sense of
It is
feel.
fire.
This can be fire and this can be air. Now, I am thinking from the point of view of Eric. How is Eric feeling? He still hasn't ventured into any job to change the world. He's just thinking, I
It
wish
is
there
air.
was a device. It is air, exactly. Years later, Eric joined Webex, which was a video conferencing software company. It's a fact. Eric and a team of engineers at Webex made such a great product at Cisco that a giant company accepted the offer to acquire Webex. It's a fact. But in Cisco, Eric did not feel respected and honored.
Air.
Earth.
He did not feel respected. I'm literally talking about feelings here.
Air.
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 Yeah.
It is air.
His ideas were dismissed again and again. So discouraged. Now he's discouraged. That's a feeling. That's an emotion. That's air. That he quit Cisco.
It's a hard fact.
It's a hard
Earth.
fact.
Earth.
So can you see how air and earth are balancing in each other with each other?
Yes.
His wife Sherry completely supported him, even if it meant that Eric would spend less time with the family. Sherry is supporting. Sherry is a supportive person, and we know from the previous thing that she was his girlfriend at that time, and now Sherry is his wife, and she's being supportive.
Water.
Water.
Because as an audience, you will feel good. Okay, fine, yeah, okay, she's being supportive. So yes, it's water. It's
It's
the
being
good
nice.
thing. And now Eric was all set to disrupt the video conferencing industry by working on building a new software that would change the way online meetings are done.
Transformation. Fire.
Fire.
Fire. He's talking about transformation.
Change.
So did you see how water and fire balanced each other?
Yes.
What if I would have started harping on the tune how supportive Sherry was? After a while, you would have felt bored. Okay, next. He faced numerous struggles on the way, like the loss of his father, spending less time with family, and convincing investors to invest in the project.
Earth.
Air.
He
Hard fact.
faced numerous struggles on the way.
Feelings.
This is earth and this is air. My intended effect is air here because I want to talk
Feelings.
about his struggles. Like he was spending less time with the family. Now that's a fact, but what's the intended effect of the speaker? I
Yeah,
want
it's
to
convey feeling.
convey feeling. But ultimately, he created Zoom.
Transformation. Fire.
Fire. No, fact.
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 Fire.
It's a fact.
Fact.
Now, if I would have talked about later on, if I have talked about, but ultimately he created Zoom, and Zoom did so and so. Zoom was better than the competitors about the in respect to the video, in respect to the audio, in respect to the ease of use. That would be fire because the whole scenario of the industry is changed now. But I just stopped here. But ultimately, he created Zoom. My dear friends, I'm glad that you registered for this workshop. This shows that you are keen on improving your skills. Congratulations on taking this step. Let's applaud for each other. What is this? What am I doing?
You
Feel
are
good
making
factor.
us feel good.
I'm making you feel good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you know why am I making you feel good? Because I am
Because,
going to give you fire now. I'm
yeah.
asking for a change. Most of your cameras were off. So I pleaded you for the sake of Eric's love, his dreams, and his sacrifices. Let's keep our cameras on. And this worked. Some of your cameras just lit like Diwali lights. And this worked because of the balance. Davinder, may I take your question now? Davinder, your hand is raised. Okay, not now. So I'm stopping the share now. All right, we just analyzed a speech which I gave in the beginning. Questions, please.
I have an observation. I found it very interesting how you've used color. I think you probably use that when you practice as well, to know where to emphasize, you use it for voice modulation, I suppose. Is it, when to go down a pitch or raise your pitch. It's a
Exactly.
tool for active speech practice, maybe. Looks like that.
You can use this concept in any communication that you make, whether it's at your personal level or your professional life. Even in table topics, you can use that.
Mhm.
Any questions? Or was I so good that there are no questions, no doubts?
Hey, Ankur, Parul here. First
Yes,
of all,
Raghav.
thank you so much for the amazing learning which you shared with us.
Thank you, Raghav.
My question is, do we have, for instance, you shared four elements with us. Do we have any specific proportion that we need to keep in mind while we are crafting this speech?
Okay.
Huh.
So, for example, I'll let you answer this question by yourself. So, suppose Parul, you go to a conference and it's a science conference and you are giving a lecture to scientists. Which element do you think they'll be able to handle more than the rest of the people?
I believe the earth part.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So there you have the liberty of having more of earth in your speeches. Suppose you're preparing for ISC and you are writing a speech for ISC and it's a 7-minute speech. You have to, deliver all the elements. Which element do you think will move the judges more?
According to me, two parts, the fire and the air.
Exactly.
All right. I
So
got it.
it actually depends on the audience.
Okay.
Hi, Ankur, Nitika this
Hi,
side. So
Nitika.
my question is, when I see you speaking, I'm always intrigued the way you use the voice modulation, your gestures, and whether it is facial expressions or the gestures that you use, and it actually the audience can feel it now. What is happening in the story? So, any tips on that to somebody who's starting their journey or somewhere in the middle of the journey, how they can improve upon these things?
Attend maximum deep dive workshops
All right.
because there was a workshop on expressions and there will be more and more workshops on uh,
Mm-hmm.
such elements of public speaking, be it body language or voice modulation.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sure. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience? Oh, yes, Narayan.
I want to know how you can apply these four elements in say something like table topic where just struggling to come up with a coherent couple of sentences that will drive you towards those 2 minutes, because this seems like something which is very advanced.
See, once you start applying it in your written speeches and in your daily communication, it will automatically come when you do the table topics. Right now we are all in a very comfortable position. And Narayan, if I can give you a topic on, if I give you a table topic right now, I'm sure you will be able to balance it. Let me give a topic that comes from the top of my head. What will you? What's your best favorite learning from the past? The most important learning from the past.
Yeah, my most so the topic is, what's my favorite learning from the past? I have had a lot of I'm 55 years old, so I've seen a bit of life. So there have been ups and downs in my life, and there have been lessons along the way. There have been lots of failures, and there have been high points and low points. So at every point, I've learned something or the other from whether it's a failure or a success. So the thing that I've realized is that, you will always get another opportunity. You cannot say this is the end. So my learning is that there is always a second chance. That's there'll always be another chance for you to improve or get better. You can't say that this is the end of the road and give up. If you don't give up, there's always a chance that you will succeed.
Narayan, did anyone notice how well Narayan balanced the speech? He started with Earth. I'm 55 years old. I've seen a lot in life, so and so. And then he slightly brings the element of air into it. I've seen failures. And then the lesson that he gives, it has a feel good factor in its own. He says it's not the end of the road, and end of the road. There are second chances, there are more opportunities, there are more chances. So do not think that this is the end of the road. He's talking about fire now. He started with earth, brought in an element of air, then he gave us a feel good factor of water, and then he talked about transformation. That's how balance happens.
I didn't really think of it in this way.
Now, because you have attended the workshop, it will come automatically to you.
Okay.
Yes, Sakshi.
Hi. Actually, I have a tendency, what I have noticed in my speeches and my conversations, I have a tendency to go I just tend to um, drift away in my speeches. Like if I'm emphasizing on emotions, like the air part, then I'll just go on and on and on about emotions without even realizing that I need to actually shift my focus of the speech or my conversation onto a more tangible part. So how to work upon that? Like it's especially in unprepared speeches or day-to-day conversations at workplace or something like that. So is there any way out of this?
From now on, whenever you read a small extract, whether it's an Instagram story or a reel, or whether you're reading a newspaper, if you have time, start dissecting the sentences or the paragraphs into elements. Just do it for maybe 3 or 4 days, not more than that, and you will immediately notice that your own speeches are getting more and more balanced. And also, this is not science that I'm talking about. I took the example of elements and I formed this theory because it's easier to understand. You can make your own theories with that. If you do not like these elements, you can make a theory on chakras. You can make the theory of anything. Just take Just take any list which describes and it forms a whole. You can make your own theories with that.
Yes, thank you. I get your point, and I'm sure it's not science, but it was very well taught and we could understand. So that's how simplified you have put it for us.
Thank you, Sakshi.
So I take your advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, Davinder.
Ankur, aren't these four ingredients take care of themselves on their own? Like whatever I share or whatever I speak, that's nothing but my past experience. That becomes the fact. Because whatever I have been through, I will just share that in one way or another. And one thing, there will be a fact, then there will be a feel-good factor, then there will be message, then there will be a conclusion.
But your intention will be one.
Yes, of course. That is to transform or to make a change or to feel good, whatever. But first we think four factors, then we write, or first we write, then we think what four factors we have used.
No, first we think about the intention. Because who are we writing for? I'm not writing for myself. I'm writing for the audience. I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for the audience. So the intended effect matters. For example, if I say, do you know what's the price of this phone? Now, if I simply want to state the fact, I will say, this is for 22,000. But if I want to make you jealous, but if my intention is that, and with that intention, I'm telling you the price, the element changes from earth to air.
Yes.
So the intention of the speaker is what is important.
Yes, Ankur, it has been really great workshop. The new perspective to look at things or write things or reading things. And of course, it will make for better for coming time.
Thank you so much, Davinder. Yes, Sunil.
So, Uncle, what I understand is we have to create a mix of all these four components to make our speech or conversations effective. Is it right?
Exactly, yes.
Then only you can, grab the attention of the other party or the listeners.
Yes. And we have to make sure that, one element should not get too much of importance in communication.
Just balance out and, make it like you have to, it's like juggling the balls, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay,
so I think we don't have any more questions. So Sachin, I think we have concluded the workshop. Thank you, folks, for attending this workshop, and you've been a wonderful audience. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Ankur.
Let's have. I think everybody now, at least now, should not shy away from at least giving a big round of applause to Toastmaster Ankur. And it was not just for for me when I've heard about it that there's something like this that is going to talk about. So honestly, I'll be very, very honest. I was a little wary that probably it may go into a direction where it could be a difficult to understand topic, or it could be something which could become complicated, or it could be something wherein we could be going haywire. But I must applaud and commend Toastmaster Ankur that it's a well-researched, and it's not something that he's just coming and saying. He's practiced this, he's done a lot of speeches basis this, and he's even won the championships basis such understanding of writing a speech. So in fact, thanks to the recording that I have now, I'm definitely going to revisit it for a lot of my our preparation as well. And the contest season is around. I'm sure to a lot of you, it would be highly helpful, very helpful. And if you could also suggest more and more of your club members, your colleagues, your friends in Toastmasters, and even outside to attend more and more such trainings, no matter which which division, which part of district does it come from, even if it comes from outside district, and you have an opportunity to learn. I always say that never miss an opportunity of learning from an expert. If you established it in your mind that somebody who's sharing today is going to be sharing from his long-term wisdom, and somebody who's been there and done that, we should not at all miss any opportunity. And I always say that you never learn less, even if you come to a workshop. And generally, it is said you take away 10% of maximum 10% of most of the workshop. But in case the attention is maintained, the topic was such today, it was made very simple with a lot of examples, not just examples of individual elements, but also how all those put together, plugging the pieces of the puzzle, a speech could be created, drafted, and how one interferes, intertwines into other, and then we could seek a balance accordingly. I did not know how to end it. That's the way that I think that we can. We're happy because all those questions, I saw questions from so many of you, and so many of you participating thoroughly also. So that indicates that we, whatever number, we always see that at least if 100 register, some 40 people turn up, something like that. But whosoever had been here had been serious for their learning, for their growth, for the opportunities. I was telling an example of, for example, Toastmaster Atul. If you see him right now, he's in a car, he's driving, and almost all the previous workshops he has attended from the car. I do not remember seeing him outside the car attending any workshop. So that's the level of commitment that you've shown, and I'm happy that on everybody's behalf, I can tell and I can vouch that this had been worth your time. Thank you so much once again, Toastmaster Ankur, and we'll keep having the workshops. And please do not miss. We're going to have another workshop soon on 17th of this month. It's a Q&A session by one of the stand-up comedians, and I know him for a very long time. He again is a master communicator, and that has led him take all those opportunities on the stage. He handles stage very well. So wherever we get an opportunity, we should learn from them. And if in case we're getting an opportunity to get hold of a person from a different industry, from a different stream, but again offering us help with those elements of communication and leadership and networking and social etiquettes, we definitely must benefit from it. And it's free for all. You can invite your friends, you can invite guests of your clubs as well. So let's keep learning, stay on this journey of learning, and keep coming back and keep applying them in your workshop also, not just learn, but also apply. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. I'm happy that we are concluding it also in time. Thanks once again.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you, one and all. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Happy Diwali.
Thank you, Ankur. Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you, everyone.
Everybody. Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali.
Diwali.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.